Hello, this is Brian Scuttle with Sonic Cinema Quick Take. And I wanted to do this one about the 2025 supernatural horror film Weapons. Written and directed by Zach Cregger, who had also done Barbarian a few years ago, another very popular one. I did not get to this one until HBO Max, and I finally watched it, and boy, were there thoughts. The film follows a tragedy that happens in a small town where 17 children from the same classroom run away on the same night, at the same time, 217, and none of them are seen again. And there's only one left, and that one is played by Carrie Christopher in a very fantastic performance. Julie Garner is the teacher of the classroom, and because of issues in her past, she is obviously considered a suspect. And the film has a very interesting structure in how it approaches this story. And it looks at it from different perspectives of Gardner's character, of Josh Brolin's character. He plays one of the fathers of one of the children. Eldon Ehrenreich, who plays a police officer. And we also, as well as Carrie Christopher, as well as Benedict Wong, who plays the principal of the school. And then we have Amy Madigan, who is Carrie Christopher's aunt or grandmother in the movie. And the film takes its time. It's an over 2-hour movie. I'm not sure if it necessarily needed to be over 2 hours, but I found the structure very interesting because of the fact that it's disjointed, but it also feels like we're learning something new with each perspective. And I think that's really a fascinating way to approach the movie. This film looks at it's sort of a takeoff on the Satanic Panic of the 1980s. It's just moral panic within a small town of how could this happen to our children, save the children, all of that stuff. There's a little bit of QAnon-coded conspiracy theorizing. But it is a horror movie. And that's where Madigan's character comes in. And it's interesting. She is terrific in the role. I have mixed feelings about the way it gets there. I don't think it completely works on the whole as far as a larger horror story, but I do like the fact that I like the way it ends up. I will say I think the third act makes up for some of it. Makes up for some of the issues I have throughout the first two acts. There are some decent performances in here. Madigan is obviously the highlight. Overall, I'll be curious. I still haven't seen Barbarian. I do want to see it. I'm curious to see how I'll feel about it going into it after having seen Weapons first. It's interesting. It's good. It's solid. I think there's some good ideas. I don't know how much it necessarily succeeds in telling them. This year there's a high bar with horror in part because of Sinners so early in the year. But this year has been an interesting year in horror. I think there have been some really strong ones. I also think there have been some acclaimed ones that just bounced off of me. Bring Her Back, for example, which made me physically ill watching it. Almost made me nauseous. How intense that was at moments. But those are my thoughts on Weapons. It's an interesting movie. I'm glad I got a chance to finally see it. I don't know if theatrically will have impacted me the same way. It's got some good ideas, but there's also not a lot that is really enough to say, oh, it's definitely one of the new horror classics. I'm not sure if I would go that far. But that's it for me on Weapons. Check out more here as we get to For Your Consideration time, as I start to catch up with more of those I've missed over the year. And this is Brian Scuttle of Sonic Cinema. Thank you very much.